The fourth type of horse, you have to beat the hell out of it to get it going. Hey everyone, it's Jason, and I'm here answering your questions about Zen, meditation, your practice, life, any kind of question. Today's question's a little bit different. This wasn't a question that was sent to me directly. It was a question in a one-on-one session that came up, and I'd like to talk about it. Some of you may have seen my interview with Meiro Moroshi. Now, if you haven't seen that, I'm putting a link down below. I highly recommend you check out that video. But in our discussion, I was talking about people who have their meditation practice over here, and then their everyday life is over here. There's a separation between meditation practice and daily life. And he responded that these people, their practice is not deep enough. And if you're practicing only 30 minutes a day, or maybe going to the Zen Center a couple times a week, it's not going to accomplish Zen in everyday life. There's a lot going on here to talk about. But first I would say it's very important not to attach to the words of a teacher, especially a Zen teacher. We actually have this as a temple rule that we read before our retreats. Don't attach to the words of the Zen teacher. Pierce the meaning behind the words. So I think that's really important, because hopefully a teacher will say something that reflects your karma to you very clearly, so you can see it clearly. So that's a reason why Zen teachers are sometimes saying things to give you a question, to help you really be curious about the truth. Because we all have ideas about Zen, we have ideas about everyday life, we have ideas about enlightenment, we have ideas about ourselves, that we're a certain type of practitioner. So the words of a Zen teacher sometimes can really hit that. So take advantage of that. Another thing I want to point out is there's no such thing as a deep practice or shallow practice. Deep and shallow live in the world of duality. Zen teachers are always hitting this point. A monk asked Zen Master Joju, "Does a dog have Buddha nature?" Joju shouted, "Moo," which can translate to no. But that's interesting. Buddha said everything has enlightened nature. We call it Buddha nature. But Joju says a dog does not. And the reason why Joju said those words was to hit the monk's mind. Again, we all have ideas about Buddha nature, enlightenment, and sometimes these words can really challenge our strong assumptions, beliefs, and ideas. This is a very wonderful thing. If we look at Huineng, the sixth ancestor of Zen, somebody asked him, what is the difference between an enlightened person and one who is ignorant? And he said nothing, except the enlightened person realizes this enlightenment, and the ignorant person does not. That's a very interesting teaching. That shows that we all have enlightened nature. Another way of defining ignorance is ignoring the truth. We're not seeing this enlightened nature in this moment. So there's really no difference. So what we're talking about is people's karma. Some people have a lot of karma. Another way of talking about karma is mind habit, this habitual thinking. Some people have very strong habitual thinking. Some people have very little habitual thinking. So it's not a matter of deep and shallow, if you practice hard or not. It's realizing, first of all, the conditioning of our habitual thinking and seeing through it. Because what we're talking about here is this moment. Is it clear or is it not? That's really it. So in Buddhism and Zen, there's this teaching. There are 4 types of horses. The first one sees the shadow of the whip and runs. The second type of horse feels the wind of the whip as it's coming down and runs. The third type of horse has to be hit, boom, one time, then runs. The fourth type of horse, you have to beat the hell out of it to get it going. I think many of us fall into this fourth type. And again, we're just talking about karma, different degrees of karma. It doesn't mean that enlightenment is lacking. If you hear this term hard practice or deep practice, there's a teaching behind it. I made a video called What is Hard Zen Practice? I'll put a link down below. I think you should check it out. I dive in deeper about this term hard practice. But all we're talking about is this moment. Is this moment clear? Because what are we doing during Zen meditation? It means that our mind and this moment are not separate. All of our energy is this moment. So we can take that into any moment of our lives. So I'm going to share with you 3 things that you can do to bring this practice into every moment of your life. The first thing I recommend is having a daily meditation practice. Now, I made a video about this, why it is important to have a daily meditation practice. I'll put a link down below. You can check that out. But what it allows us to is first to really take the time, make a conscious effort of putting our energy into this moment. Then when we get up off the cushion, we continue that meditation practice. When we are eating, when we are driving, when we are going to work, when we are watching TV, and any activity, we're continuing this practice. That's one thing I like about the school I teach in is we have many different forms in our meditation practice. We have bowing meditation, chanting meditation, sitting meditation, walking meditation, working meditation, eating meditation, all these different activities. They're the same. We're doing the same thing, waking up, seeing through our delusions, seeing through our ignorance, not ignoring the truth, waking up to the truth of the moment. The second thing I recommend is wearing a mala. Now, people use malas for all kinds of different reasons, but anything that can remind you about practice. Because again, I think a lot of the times we forget about practice because we're so busy. We're so caught up into our thinking and our planning and all the things we have to do that we forget about meditation practice. So for me, I pretty much wear a mala wherever I go. And it reminds me, oh yeah, what's happening right now in this moment? And what can I do to help in this moment? So think of something that can help you, remind you to practice throughout the day. I know somebody who has an hourly timer on their phone that goes off, beep, every hour. Then, oh, they remember to practice. The third thing I want to recommend, and I've said this in many of my other videos, is having a clear direction. And what that means is just look at the suffering of the world. If you want a reminder of practice, go look in the news. Look around your country that you're in or the city you live in. Look at your own life. Look at your relationship with your families, your friends, maybe your children. We are always seeing the suffering of this world. And this is what helped the Buddha, inspired him to investigate this life. It inspired him to practice meditation. This for me is one of the biggest motivators in practice is suffering. It's the thing that gives me fuel to practice. And I try to always put myself into situations where I'm reminded of why to practice. This is one reason why I became a Zen teacher, to really be reminded all of the time about suffering. Sitting retreats, just seeing my own mind. Spending time with people, really listening and hearing them. I think this is something that can benefit all of us. I'm going to make a video in my Everyday Zen series where I go through the whole day kind of demonstrating and talking about how to do this in different activities. I have to say, though, that all of this is just about what is the most important in your life. There are many important things in life, but what is the most important? Is it money, fame, possessions, status, knowledge? What is the most important? This is something that nobody can answer for you. There's no book, there's no video, there's no teacher that can help answer this question. If this question becomes clear, then this moment becomes clear. And this is what is the real meaning behind a deep practice. Those are my thoughts for the day. Let me know in the comments what you think about all of this. Was this video helpful? Also, if you do have a question about Zen, meditation, your practice, life, any kind of question, just send it my way and I'll make you a video. Okay, everyone, I hope to see you all very soon.